Personally, I don't really see how this is possible on a watch, but you know what? Apple is a company that has built itself on doing the impossible, so I do not doubt Apple to be able to come up with something like this. What's up YouTube, it's your boy, BMAC. And lately, I've been getting a lot of questions from you guys regarding my thoughts and opinions on the upcoming Apple Watch Series 4. What's it gonna look like? When will it be available? Will it be able to teleport us to the moon and back? Not so sure about that last one, but I do have some information on the first two and some other rumors, so I'm excited for this video. It's gonna be a good one. Let's first start by saying that most of the rumors we're gonna be talking about have to do with the actual design of the new Apple Watch. What kind of design change though? That's what we really want to know, right? Well, this is where things start to get a little bit interesting. In the Apple Watch Series 4, there is a rumored bigger screen. Now, when we say bigger, we're talking slightly bigger than the already pretty large 42 millimeter. So maybe we'll get a size 46 or 48 millimeter, which sounds like it'd be a super small increase, right? We're talking 4 millimeters, maybe 6 millimeters. But as we have previously discussed on this channel, those 4 millimeters, 6 millimeters, whatever it ends up being, they could make a substantial difference, especially when you're looking at it on your wrist. And the rumors of a bigger screen size actually make more sense if the rumors about a bigger battery prove to be true as well. Bigger battery means more battery juice, which means longer battery life, which means it would make sense that Apple would want to kill two birds with one stone by upping the screen size and the battery capacity. But one thing to keep in mind here, this probably does mean we would be looking at a bigger Apple Watch body altogether. And a bigger body on the Apple Watch would suggest that the width of the Apple Watch itself would also be a little bit bigger. Yes, the Apple Watch is going to stick out from your wrist just a little bit more, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I do personally like the slimmer profile that the Apple Watch provides. It's possible by having a larger screen size and a bigger battery, we could add those two things in without actually making the width larger. I mean, basically we'd just be like, you know, flattening it out. And that's something I would personally enjoy. If we are getting a bigger screen size and a bigger battery, I hope that Apple would go with the bigger and thinner route, not the bigger and bulkier route, if possible. Or, like I just said, if we could at least keep the width of the Apple Watch the same as what it is right now on the Series 3. But building on those rumors is another rumor that we actually will not be getting any physical buttons on the Apple Watch Series 4, which means haptic feedback-based buttons will replace the side button and the digital crown. In other words, we would have fake buttons on the Apple Watch Series 4, very similar to like what we have on the home button of the iPhone 7 and iPhone 8. Personally, I can see this happening. This would make sense that Apple would go this route, but to be honest, I kind of like the digital crown. Yes, sometimes it sticks out like a sore thumb and gets in the way, but I have found it to be a pretty important part of the Apple Watch itself, how you navigate apps, how you use different apps. And besides, if you're having a problem with accidentally hitting the digital crown on your Apple Watch, I found a fix for that. There's a fix for actually switching the orientation of your Apple Watch, which should help prevent any accidental digital crown presses. If you want to learn how to do that fix, you could actually check out the entire video I have on that topic. A card annotation will pop up in the top right-hand corner of your screen. You can click that card annotation. It will bring you right to that digital crown fix video. Or as always, there will be a link in the video description box below as well. But after that fix, I've really come to enjoy the digital crown, and I think I would miss it if it was all of a sudden taken away and replaced with a haptic feedback-based button. And taking that a step further and getting rid of these physical buttons on the actual Apple Watch and replacing them with haptic feedback-based buttons, that would mean I would no longer get to use this cool case that I have on my Apple Watch. And not just this Apple Watch case, I think we would be very limited in general for the kind of cases we could apply to our Apple Watch Series 4 if those buttons on the side of the Series 4 are going to be haptic feedback-based, i.e. fake buttons, no physical buttons. And then we would once again be walking around with a naked Apple Watch, which some of us do. God bless you. I wouldn't be able to do that anymore after what happened to my first one. I just happen to love this Apple Watch bumper case that I have on my Apple Watch. It's super cheap. It's $5. It matches. And like I said, it's definitely saved the day a couple times. If you guys want more information on my bumper case that I'm using on my Apple Watch, you can check out the video description box below that will bring you to this stylish case that I am currently using. But in regard to the haptic feedback-based buttons on the Apple Watch Series 4, I wouldn't be the biggest fan, but at the same time, I could see it happening. I just don't really think there's a true need for haptic feedback-based buttons. I mean, this thing's already water resistant, so what would be the actual purpose of replacing physical buttons if they don't allow for water resistance? Meaning, if we already have water resistance, why do we need haptic feedback-based buttons? Because it's already water resistant. You know what I mean. But next up, we have perhaps the biggest rumored design change, a round Apple Watch face. This is a rumor I actually really hope does not happen whatsoever. Listen, I know there are other smartwatches on the market that have a round face that do very well for themselves, but I don't think a round watch face is the right move for the Apple Watch. First of all, pretty much every app you've ever known on the Apple Watch would have to be completely redesigned from scratch to be able to operate correctly on a round Apple Watch. You'd have this really weird situation with text getting cut off or crunched at the top and bottom of the actual watch face itself. Watch bands that you currently own probably wouldn't look that great on the new Apple Watch round face. Long story short, I just think a round watch face on the new Apple Watch Series 4 would be a step in the wrong direction. It just sounds like more trouble than it's worth to me. I don't think we need it. A round watch face on the Apple Watch would just completely change the Apple Watch experience for the worse, in my opinion. And I don't really think it's that likely anyway, but it's a rumor nonetheless. We shall see. But next up, let's talk about bands for your Apple Watch. There are a lot of rumors going around that on the next generation Apple Watch, we will have something called smart bands or modular bands that you could attach to your Apple Watch. Now, this is a pretty interesting idea, and it's not necessarily a bad idea, because doing so would actually potentially allow Apple to move some of the hardware built into the Apple Watch itself into the band, therefore maintaining the slim profile that the Apple Watch arguably has right now, and you would be able to get more features built into the Apple Watch without it becoming clunkier and clunkier. There's also been some rumors about the Apple Watch Series 4 battery being built into the band instead of the watch itself. I'm not so sure about that one. I think that one might be a little bit too far-fetched. And imagine if that was actually the case. Imagine how much more expensive Apple Watch bands would get compared to what they already are at now. I just think Apple Watch band prices right now, their own bands are way too overpriced for what they actually provide. So if you put a battery in those things, I'm just seeing dollar signs everywhere. And then taking that a step further, if Apple were to create smart bands for the Apple Watch Series 4 and you could only use Apple smart bands with the Series 4, it'd be a brilliant move on Apple's part, because then they would basically own the entire band industry for the Apple Watch. And I don't know how I feel about that. I have these bands, I love them. I get them all from the same company, and you can check out my video specifically reviewing these Apple Watch bands that I wear on my Apple Watch by clicking the card annotation that's gonna pop up on the top right-hand corner of your screen. Or of course, as always, there will be a link to that video in the video description box below as well. So check out that video if you want to up your Apple Watch band swag for a pretty affordable price and get some cool Apple Watch bands like the ones I'm rocking. But see what I mean? If Apple were to make their own smart watch bands that you could only get from Apple, we wouldn't be able to have third-party bands like this to be able to show off, you know? But next up, we do have some rumors about the Apple Watch Series 4 that we have to address. Supposedly, we're gonna get some new health monitoring features. And this is something we've actually been hearing about for a long time, particularly when it comes to blood glucose monitoring. Blood glucose monitoring. There we go. And personally, I don't really see how this is possible on a watch, but you know what? Apple is a company that has built itself on doing the impossible, so I do not doubt Apple to be able to come up with something like this. I just think it's pretty safe to say that we should get some new features related to health built into the Apple Watch Series 4. And all this sounds good, but when are we gonna get this mysterious Apple Watch Series 4? Well, if we take a look at the past few releases of the Apple Watch, we got the Apple Watch Series 1 and Series 2 in September of 2016. We got the Apple Watch Series 3 in September of 2017. So it's starting to seem like it would be more and more likely to get an Apple Watch Series 4 in September of 2018. Out of all the rumors we just talked about, if I had to bet on one, I would say that it is that we're gonna get an Apple Watch Series 4 in September of 2018. And I think we will get a new Apple Watch in addition to new iPhones that usually come around that time of year. But these are just the rumors I find most credible when it comes to the Apple Watch Series 4. What are the rumors you've heard or things you expect to be in the Apple Watch Series 4? Do me a favor, take a second to comment down below your thoughts, opinions, and predictions on the upcoming AWS4 in the comment section below. I'm actually super curious to hear what features you guys think will make it into the Apple Watch Series 4 this coming fall. And I will see you guys in my next video. In the meantime, I'm gonna go keep flirting with Siri on my Apple Watch. Use her productively to help me get things done. I always use the Apple Watch Siri functionality responsibly. I'm always, just treating her as, an artificial intelligence agent, assistant. That's all it is. I don't think she's my girl or anything like that, so,